another episode.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Yappisode. This is the Daily Yap. Yappisode 55, man. We are coming up halfway to 100. It's getting crazy, man. Getting crazy, expanding, growing. It's absolutely just a beautiful thing. Just again, I can't do nothing but reminisce on like where we first started. Because again, we talking about in the bedroom, my son's bedroom. We just chopping it up. Sometimes I was whispering, just trying to, you know what I mean? I don't know, just trying to gotta start somewhere. Gotta start somewhere. Definitely was not new to the social media game and all of that. But when it came to YouTube Live, used to do podcasts like probably like 4 or 5 years ago, but totally different ball game now. Had friends with me and stuff like that, but as far as like a solo podcast, haven't done that before. And so that was slightly different than all of the other social media, TikTok and all this. It was just totally different, bro. Every platform has like its unique ways. And so it was weird. It was weird. I'm not gonna lie. It took a lot. I was contemplating so many different days, and I was like, bro, nah, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do all that stuff. But y'all stayed on me, man. Y'all stayed on me for like a minute too. Probably some people have been like a year. But definitely I can't do nothing but appreciate y'all, because without that, without holding my feet to the fire and always pushing and all that stuff, it would have never happened. But here we are, months later, growing channel. And then hopefully we can keep it going. I've been looking into today as far as like going into the Apple podcast side of stuff, Spotify things, because I know a lot of people say, yeah, they just throw me on and go about their day, and sometimes it's easier to do apps like that than YouTube. So yeah, I do whatever, man. I'm trying to do whatever I can. Whatever I can. But I appreciate y'all for joining. Make sure you guys hit the like button on your way in, whether on your way out. Replay crew, appreciate y'all always, because I do sometimes end up forgetting about how the video stays up. And so I appreciate the replay crew. Man, we got a lot to talk about. Obviously, a lot has gone on. I was supposed to go live last night. I know some people be catching it and peeping it when I do have a live up, and then like I'll delete it within the last hour or something like that. I definitely was supposed to go live, but man, my youngest was going through it yesterday. He was just up like so many times throughout the night. And yeah, man, I was like, I'm gonna just go to sleep, bro. Because I don't know how this night gonna be. He was just doing way too much going into bedtime. And I was like, let me just go ahead and sleep tonight. We'll just get back on live tomorrow. So but we are here. But outside of that, man, I know I made an interesting thumbnail today. I didn't know how YouTube was gonna react to it. Trial and error, to be honest. I don't know. Because I threw in, the Big Jeffrey, his last name. I kind of threw it in there, but with a dollar sign. So I was just hoping that it was be a little different. But just trial and error. I've been told that when you throw out that name and stuff, the YouTube algorithm will do a lot of weird things. So we shall see. We shall see if we get our normal community in here tonight, or if the live gets pushed out at all. So hitting the like button is definitely crucial tonight, because we shall see what this does. And you can also support the channel in many different ways. For the ones that don't know, we talked about the other night how there was a Facebook that has been impersonating me for a year now. They've been impersonating me for a year. They have like 25,000 something followers. I don't know if it's real or not, fake or not, but I see them views and it's going crazy. And they've been literally, no matter what video I post on either TikTok account, they download it, post it on their Facebook. They got my username, everything. And I see a lot of people think that's me, and it's not at all. I have never had Facebook in a way where I was like promoting content and stuff like that. And I was appalled. Like I couldn't believe it. And I learned it through a comment section of a YouTube video of a person saying, hey, I was watching your Facebook and I noticed, no, she said, She saw my TikTok and it said that we was doing a watch party on YouTube. And she was like, usually I watch a Facebook, but I'm gonna tune into the YouTube tonight. And I was like, Facebook? What? And so yeah, I checked, and yeah, man, this person has been doing it since last September or something like that. And every video I post, it don't matter. They are posting it up there as theirs, and they're getting crazy views and stuff like that. So if you see that account on Facebook, it should be I think it's actually it's the same username that y'all see on the banner right here, jshaw.3. Is that one. You'll see it on Facebook. Go report it if you can. The more reports, the more likely they'll actually take it serious, because I reported, but the reports don't kind of mean anything nowadays. You'll say, hey, this person is impersonate, or this person is pretending to be me. And in Facebook, TikTok, all these, they don't even really care. It's a whole bunch of fakes on TikTok as me as well. So go report it when you can. The only Facebook account I have is the one that you see down there that says Jay the Yapper One. Same profile picture as X, same profile picture as YouTube. You'll see it. It's brand new. It's only like 5 followers. So that is a new platform that we are expanding to. And then, like I said, we'll get into Spotify, we'll get into Apple Music and all of that good stuff eventually as well. And I couldn't do any of that without the help of y'all and the support of y'all. So I appreciate y'all so much. And without further ado, we got a lot to get to. Obviously, we got some. Apparently, Terryl Farnsworth. Somebody sent me a clip of Candace dropped tonight about Terryl Farnsworth messing with SD cards. I'm not sure. Y'all know me. I'm a very react to it on the fly, live, just to see what happens. I think it makes it more exciting. So we'll see. I don't know what evidence it is, what video she showed, what things she exposed, but apparently there has been new exposed evidence of Terryl Farnsworth doing something with SD cards. So we'll go through that. And we'll go through a lot of different clips as well that I've been sent, that I've saved myself. Y'all know how it is, man. That's why it's the episode. We just vibe. The first thing that I do want to do, though, that I honestly forgot, and I apologize so much. I really am sorry. I forgot to go through these comments that I literally put up a post, and I was going to do it actually yesterday, but I think I canceled it live, like I said. And it was about your thoughts. I wanted to hear from y'all, and I know people that's in the community, y'all have been saying, we've been doing lives about it and stuff like that. But I said it on a post. I said, would love to hear everyone's thoughts on the Candace versus Andrew Wilson debate. It's always a safe space. Let me know what y'all think. We'll be going through some of the responses tonight. So I'll go through some of the responses tonight because I haven't done it yet. And I definitely am not a liar. I can't believe I forgot about that. Baby Yap is good, man. He will be 1 month next Tuesday. So it is crazy. Time has been flying. And I'm sure y'all are probably going to be shocked as well, the fact that he's already about to be a month old next Tuesday. So it's crazy, but he's doing well. He's going through a little sleep thing right now, whatever you want to call it. What do they call it? Oh, I remember with my first son. I forgot what they call it. It'll come to me, or maybe somebody might say it. But it's like one of those things where you they're doing good, but then they get like a little setback in their sleep. It kind of just like messing up and regression. Thank you. He's going through one of those. So the last 2-3 days have been pretty rough on him. I'm not gonna lie. So hopefully it's just a couple of days and he get right back to sleeping good. But he's doing good. He turns a month next Tuesday. And so, yeah. Excited, man. Excited. That's all I can really say. Very excited to raise 2 boys in this world. All right. Let me pull y'all up so I can see y'all. Pull me up big screen. That's the only thing I can think of now with Brandon Tatum. Make me big screen. He is funny, though. I can't stand him as far as the things that he push, but man, the guy is entertaining, man. He really is. Did I see Royce White on the CK show with Baldy and AK? Were they being serious and trolling too? Need your perspective. Send it to me. Send it to me on X, and I'll be able to pull it up. And if I don't, please remind me. All right, let me pull it up. I want to go through these really quick. Well, not really quick, but I want to hit these because I definitely forgot last time. and I do apologize. All right. These are some of y'all responses on YouTube from the Andrew Wilson and Candace Owens debate. Obviously, it is over. Yes, and yes, I also told somebody. Um, I forgot if it was TikTok or YouTube, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna definitely be done talking about it on Sunday. And I thought I was, but things keep happening, and my thoughts keep spinning, and having so many about it. So I'm not afraid to say it. Like if I have a thought about it, oh yeah, no promises that it's gonna be the last time I talk about it, but I'll try. But if I have a thought about it, I don't mind talking about the same thing. I really don't. All right, so here are some of the comments that y'all. Let me pull it up. Like, can y'all see that? It look blurry. Let me know if y'all can see this in the comments. Can y'all see these comments? Can y'all see these YouTube comments? Is it blurry for y'all? Is it clear? It's clear on my laptop, obviously, but when I look over here on the screen, it looks very blurry. So if y'all say that it's clear, then I will get to reading. But I definitely need confirmation before I just start reading and y'all can't even see anything. Just always remember it's not what you take with you, but what you leave behind. Absolutely. Absolutely. Seems like such a distraction. Yeah. It's been an interesting about a month or so. Yes, I got a yes. Okay. All right. Thank you, Angela. Let's get to these comments. ACM 8691. He said she exposed him as a grift. Uh I don't know if I can agree with that because we have been talking about it, at least me. Okay, I'm not gonna say everybody. To some people, that probably was the first time that they was like, "Oh, this guy's a grift." Andrew Wilson, who is this guy? Maybe so, but I would say I personally disagree because the second that she even said something about Andrew Wilson, I was like, "This is gonna take a terrible turn." Because the guy has always just been an attention seeker and he doesn't even care about the case. So we was talking about that for weeks. And so the exactly how the debate went is exactly how it was predicted, unfortunately. So but yeah, I'm sure some people didn't know that who Andrew Wilson was and all of that. I will give it to him that he lasted the whole duration of the conversation. He was full of sugar, honey, iced tea, didn't make sense and was lying, but didn't freeze up. He's a good liar and knew Candace was right. He was good at gaslighting and deflecting the truth, being loud and obnoxious, but failed overall to anyone who actually listened and watched with the brain, not paid to be biased. Yes, he was for sure a gaslighter. He was doing that in live time. What's going on, Stacey? He was doing that in live time, gaslighting. It was absolutely crazy. I couldn't believe it. He did that so many times. Candace would say something, he'd be like, "You didn't even say that." She's like, "Yes, I did. What are you talking about?" So yeah, he was a gaslighter for sure. The moderator didn't really do anything except say that they were going to to break. He was clearly on Andrew's side, but tried to be supportive of Candace with regard to the death threat that was never looked into. Outside of that, he was there to continue to fed slop. His clips prove it. Candace exposed Andrew for fraud he is, just there as a mouthpiece for TPUSA. I agree. We have a clip on PBD that we will be talking about tonight because he is donkey of the day. So we will get to PBD, but I agree with you. Andrew Wilson didn't enter this debate to discuss the case. He entered to do what he's built his platform around: intimidate, insult, and belittle a woman, then call her reaction a win. Candace was simply the biggest target he had. His audience treats domination as debate and humiliation as victory. That is improving your argument. It's performance. I agree. And again, it sucks because like we knew this before money was thrown around and these things were getting set up, and now we have the context that Candace has said the other day, I think yesterday, of like how super last minute it was. That's a whole nother conversation that we'll have to chop it up in the after party. Oh, I forgot after party. Yes, tonight. Members, I forgot to mention that. I got the live already up, so you'll see it there. After party tonight, right after we get done with this. I'm sorry, I forgot about saying something about that. But yeah, we'll chop it up then, because yeah, we'll keep we'll keep it pushing right now. His audience treats no, I say yeah, I agree with that. I think she started off a little rocky. Then she came to realize just how little he actually knew about the case. I think his opening statement was the biggest proof of that. It didn't seem like he even wrote down what he said, more like it was a text sent to him by someone from Turning Point, and that was the first time he read it. I agree as well. I know a lot of people do opening statements before debates and all that other stuff, but it was just a weird opening statement, because it just didn't seem like it was from the heart. It seemed like you said it perfectly, that someone else wrote it, because if that's something that you wrote and you prepared, like there's a couple of times in there where you can look Candace in the eyes as you're talking, or you can just kind of tell that somebody wrote that they wrote it. uh but he just never took his eyes off the phone. And it seemed like he was literally reading word for word, sentence for sentence. So yeah, I agree with you. It didn't move the needle in any direction. Andrew was unprepared. Candace didn't fully articulate proof for her claim. I agree with it didn't move the needle in any direction. It's just my opinion. Somebody's gonna say I'm wrong. I don't know. Nobody's wrong, right? You can feel how you feel. I can feel how I feel. Okay. I don't think it moved the needle in any direction. Only time will tell. I told y'all, I think I said it in a video earlier. Um, I'll give it a month. I think I'm being pretty generous. I think a lot of people will forget about this in a couple of weeks, 2, 3 weeks, but I'll give it a month. And I think nobody will be referencing, this debate as some type of turning point in the case. I don't know. That's just my opinion. But Andrew was unprepared. Yeah. I mean, like I said, he didn't care about the case. So hearing the guy say that he looked up stuff on the way to Tennessee, I'm like, bro, we've been invested in this for a year. You know what I mean? Like I just thought, yeah, y'all know how I feel. I just thought that all of that was just very disrespectful for a guy like that to say, yeah, I just started looking up stuff on the way to Tennessee. He walks out of there with a bag like that PPD explains pretty well. So yeah, it's crazy. Candace didn't fully articulate proof for her claim. I can agree to that a little bit. I also will say that it is majority Andrew's fault, because he stayed and harped on the same topics. You know what I mean? He just, like, instead of talking about something else that Candace has claimed or put out there, he just stayed on the same topics, and eventually he just started just kind of trying to gaslight and trying to get like a gotcha moment, instead of like genuinely trying to get her to explain all the things that she has that makes her believe that Tyler Robinson had a 0% chance of pulling the trigger. Now, she did what she could, and obviously, yes, she could have brought up more things, but we don't even know everything. They talked about, PBD said that there was some type of contract. I know Candace said that there wasn't, but PBD said that there was. So, I don't know, but I think it's Andrew's fault for just not at all kind of being prepared to debate her claims. It was more so, I'm gonna just try to catch you in a gotcha moment for 3 hours. I think it was very badly, I'm assuming, done. Said baldly done. Since the topic was established, the moderator should have asked questions from the evidence by the state. I know Candace wanted to accommodate all of his requests, but we also wanted him in depth. Why he thinks the state has strong evidence. Yeah, I think PBD should have for sure moderated better. I understand that he wanted to take a step back and let them go at it, but I think that he also should have had some questions that support, you know, Andrew's side because PBD is on that side. So I think he should have had a few questions for both sides, for both parties, and then let them hash it out. Especially when they're going in circles. They should have, kind of try to stop some of that sometimes. The whole thing made clear whom Andrew Wilson was sent, prepared, and supported by. He didn't even prepare his own clips. Main goal was to discredit Candace as much as possible to frame her for defamations. Andrew Wilson wanted to spin off on the text messages and monetize on it. The claims made in here have been challenged, and he received a lot of backlash on it. Let's see if he dares. On a positive note, a lot of people aren't fans of Candace. On a positive note, a lot of people that aren't fans of Candace or that don't follow her got to see her for who she really is, a winner. Factual, consistent, and very much on top of her research. Watched your commentary, Jay. Now watching Ian Carroll and waiting for Barron to go live. The more I see of the debate, the more I see the upcoming trial played out in small. Verdict, reasonable doubt that Tyler Robinson was the lone shooter. Proven, court adjourned. Man, this is an amazing comment. Definitely, I agree with everything. He definitely was not prepared whatsoever. Talking about he don't know what clips was being shown. I think that was just embarrassing. So I agree. I agree with you. You sent the link with a timestamp. Okay. Thank you, Angela. Always. Thank you to all the mods, man. Y'all are phenomenal. I think it was like any pro sports trade deadline because now each side locked in with whatever team/players they've already got, and the playoffs are 2 months away. I understand that reference. I can agree with this as well. And that's I was listening to Candace break down like the behind the scenes because I'm interested in stuff like that. The behind the scenes, how did it go down? It was kind of weird and odd about like how rushed and quick they was trying to get things set up. Cause it's like, what's the rush? But I also don't know these people, so maybe these people got things going on. But hearing like everything was super rushed and last minute, and the morning of, she didn't even know what was kind of confirmed and agreed upon, but these people are showing up at your house and they supposed to be randoms, and that was just odd. No conclusion. I'm not jumping to anything. People can't stand like, man, it's just a whole nother conversation. They can't. I don't know, bro. But it was just odd to hear the behind the scenes of everything happening super last minute and the day of. Nobody really still knows what's going on, but all these random people showing up at your house. I'd be not I. Maybe y'all though. I think sometimes she has a hard time explaining really complex concepts to people who don't understand. At the beginning, when she was talking about the degraded fingerprints, homeboy didn't understand what the what the F she was saying. But to his advantage, and to everyday person, it was looking like he's owning her. I think she was a bit rocky at the beginning, but as the event went on, she realized she realizes he don't know anything regarding the case. He know a tad bit about guns and was putting up counter arguments, for example, dirt and chamber, which made sense. If he went about that the whole time and actually knew the case, I think it would have definitely went in his favor. Also, I feel like she was spitting information out so fast. Got to slow down a bit. That's all. But this was pointless. Yeah, I think it was a very, very pointless debate. But yeah, it's one of those things, man. It's hard to talk about this Tyler Robinson thing and all this stuff and explain to somebody that's not really in tune with it. But that was part of the whole thing. Like, we already knew that Andrew Wilson didn't care. So I was like, well, what are we talking about? If we're talking to somebody that doesn't care, have y'all tried talking to somebody that doesn't care in the real world? You know what I mean? Like family member, friend that has no idea what's going on, and you trying to explain this to them in under 10 minutes, 30 minutes. It's not possible. It's not possible. Because yeah, it's just too much. I agree. There's a video of him prior to debate stating the first 30 minutes would be bad for him, which is his part defending how evidence is overwhelming, but the rest, he will annihilate her. He was wrong entirely. What he thought he would do. That phone red speech, yeah, that phone red speech was difficult to listen to. I almost stopped there, but couldn't wait for her response. It was clearly prompted by the Ben Shapiro, Blake Neff, and Erica put together by ChatGPT. Everything about it. When he read the exclusive text, he was obviously given by Erica and just stupid since he lied, saying no claims existed. He didn't have the text. Was only told to say it. Who cares? It doesn't change the cover ups. Candace said after pointing out all the Erica Kurt related video clips, okay, Erica, you could have just sat here yourself. Yeah, that was funny. Him changing the meaning of the word overwhelming just to be convinced 75% was an absolute joke. They're very fake and gay. I agree. The constant foot shake, neck, mouth twitch, earpieces. Candace had an earpiece too. PBD did too. So I guess that's been disregarded. Then projecting that Candace needed someone to text him the charges was uh text her the charges was him in a nutshell. He had talking points to change the narrative regarding that France involvement in Erica. The close up food in between his stained teeth. Oh my gosh. The ending where he repeatedly badgers she had no evidence was for clips. I love how she called him out so many times. Protect the Pretco. Yeah, for real. All right, we almost at the bottom. Critiquing the actual debate format is useless. It's over. Andrew had no chance debating subjects he knew of. However, the actual furniture setup, I believe, crushed him by being able to see his nervous shaking foot. I think he wanted it behind a table, which Rogan would have provided, or just a video debate. Thoughts? I agree. I definitely don't think he planned on being so out there and exposed. Because that definitely changes a lot when you have to sit that close to somebody and look them in the eye and you don't get to fiddle or fidget with anything. Yeah, I do think that changes a lot. That changes your comfort zone when it comes to, your element. And based on where he's used to debating on the whatever podcast and stuff, like, yeah, he can, whether he can smoke, whether he can hide his twitching and all that other stuff, all of that plays a factor in your comfort zone. So yeah, I mean, all of it was thrown off, even though he had his team and all that other stuff. The second that he couldn't smoke, man, that probably took away like 50% of his skill. And then also him not knowing any information about the case and about what Candace was going, all her claims. I think she did well in the second half. I think he's a complete jerk. Sometimes I wonder if it's all just theater. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's something we've been talking about lately. Andrew was a disaster. Candace was amazing. I think she did a good job for what she was given. It wasn't a lot of substance to it, but Andrew drove the conversation, so that was expected. He had his motives, as failed as his execution may have turned out, and it was to put Erica in a good light, not to debate the facts. I was against the debate from the beginning. I believe it was going to make a spectacle of the work people have put in into sincerely figuring out what's going on in this case. But in hindsight, I'm glad she did it. It was the closest thing to a face-to-face with TPUSA as she was going to get, which is sad because, again, he didn't even care about the case. So that's what I'm saying. And she's entitled to how she feels. But in my opinion, that's why I'm like, bro, this guy is definitely, it just wasn't even worth it. It was like, nah, if you cared, I might as well, I said it a million times on here, I might as well have seen Lisa Knowles or Garrett or Paramount Tactical up there. That would have made more sense. But a guy that like didn't care at all, I'm like, nah, I don't care if he was the only person coming from TPUSA. Don't want to hear from you, bro. Because you can't just start talking about all this a month ago, and now all of a sudden you're the person that's defending Turning Point USA, bro. Just stop. She held her own. It didn't change anything. Not that I was expecting it to. The divide is no longer about what we believe. It's about who people like and dislike. I agree. And the people who don't like Candace will never bring themselves to like her. I agree. Those who don't believe the official narrative weren't sold on an official narrative from the debate. I agree. So it was cool, but it was a spectacle, short sport and distraction. I agree. I'm glad Candace was able to get that off her chest. She deserves that feeling. Charlie was truly a friend to her, and I can imagine wanting to kick someone's butt, but you can't. So this was the closest thing she'll get. And I agree, because Turning Point USA has not responded or came out to do anything. So yeah. The whole thing was designed as a gotcha to score jabs against Candace on behalf of Erica and her demons. Charlie, Tyler, and the case were never important to anyone except Candace. The fool was about barely having any time to catch up on the facts and read the case, when in fact he's been hounding Candace for months, plenty of time to fully research the case. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna bark up the tree, you definitely gotta know what you're talking about. You know, because yeah, I don't know. And this person said the best comment. I'm glad it's over. Oh man. Thank y'all for sending that, because I definitely, it was my bad. I forgot to read it the other night. And yeah, we might talk about it a little bit, probably in the after party though. I don't feel like catching no smoke right now. Let's get into donkey of the day. Oh my gosh, we got an interesting donkey of the day that I've already mentioned. He goes by the name PBD, Patrick Beth David, because he decided to discuss with his team who he deemed the winner. And he was a very interesting perspective. Like, I was honestly waiting for his podcast, and I've never watched his podcast at all, especially live, but I was interested. And this goes to another part of like the distraction in a way. And this is not anything new. Okay. For anybody that is listening for the first time, we've already been talking about how this entire debate thing was just a weird distraction. We said from day one. So this is not anything new. But you know, this goes into that because Patrick Beth David, PBD, he's somebody that believes in the original narrative. He always has. He hasn't really been sold on anything else. And he goes into this debate, right? Andrew Wilson selects him. He goes into this debate. But, you know, he's also live streaming it to his channel. And I'm like, but you've never really cared either, bro. So this is the part where like everybody's just getting a little piece of the pie because you've never cared. And, you know, he has his logo in the background when he's moderating. That's what that like weird thing was. If anybody was wondering, that little blue and red, like, you know, thing, like trophy looking thing. So he's advertising his brand and all this other stuff. And it's like, cool, whatever. He's live streaming it to his show. But again, you never really cared either, bro. Now, all of a sudden you're live streaming it to your page. And so I was interested in his perspective as a moderator, as somebody that represents that side, because he believes in the original narrative. And I was like, okay, since everybody swear up and down that people are looking at this case differently, and some people have came out and said, oh, I feel a little different about the case. Candace made me this, Candace made me that. I said, well, this is perfect. PBD represents the other side. So let's see what he has to say about what he heard from Candace. He was there first person. I'm sure he's heard things behind the scenes, on the phone, like all types of stuff. And I said, okay, well, I'm curious to see how he feels about what was said in the debate, because if anybody was compelled to at least like slightly move, he should have been one of them. But instead, that's not at all what happened. Here is our donkey of the day, Mr. PBD himself, discussing who he feels like the winner is of the debate.
You know who I will say won? Here's who I will say won. I think both of them won, and I'll tell you why they won. But I think Candace won because
I want to start by also saying that's a cop-out answer, right? I don't know if anybody had those type of parents or coaches that was like, guys, it's not about the scoreboard. It's not about the scoreboard. It's all about just having fun, right? But they only tell you that when you get your butt whooped by 20, right? They just don't want to tell you, look, you suck today. And that's what a lot of kids is missing, to be honest. You suck today, okay? You need to get better. You lost by 30. Yeah, you got your butt kicked. Go home, figure it out. All right, maybe this is not the right sport for you. That's okay. But anytime you got somebody that's like doing this like little false hope, this little cop out, soft letdown of, hey man, everybody's a winner, guys. Everybody's a winner. It's not about the scoreboard. It's not about any of that. It's about you guys had fun, right? It's all about having fun. If you had fun, you won. No, you didn't. You didn't. And that's what PBD is doing right here. He's trying to play the middle. And he's like, everybody won here. There's both winners. I don't want to get involved. Blah, blah, all this other stuff. So that's what this is.
I think both of them won. And I'll tell you why they won. But I think Candace won because she got the money and she presented her argument.
Remember what he just said first. Money was the first thing that came out of his mouth.
And in an area where she got the money and she presented her argument, and in an area where she conceded, she says, I don't know why you're playing this video. I already conceded to you. And I said, yeah, I was wrong. Mm-hmm. And she did that. So that was good for her to do that. And I think she got in front of an audience and moved some people that probably don't watch her content. Remember, baptizing is key. Baptizing is key. And I think Andrew Wilson won because, let me explain it to you how much he won. And I think he won more than Candace won. And my argument is
he won more than Candace won.
It's going to be he won. And I think he won more than Candace won.
So if he won more than Candace won, who won? If you have a scoreboard and somebody won more than the other, that means that that person won the game, right? So let's cut the whole. They were both winners. If Andrew has 100 points and Candace has 90 points, right? He has won more. But he doesn't really want to just say Andrew won. For whatever reason, he wants to sit on the fence. He wants to get on everybody's good side. But that doesn't make any sense. I don't care what anybody says, because somebody said something about me. Somebody said something about it on TikTok earlier about like, because I said PBD said that Andrew Wilson won the debate because he got a bag. And we finna get into how he explains Andrew won bigger than Candace. But saying Andrew Wilson won more is saying Andrew Wilson won the debate, okay? Now, you could have two different arguments, right? Who won the debate? And maybe he's saying, overall, regardless of the debate, this is how I feel. But just saying, oh, yeah, he won more. Okay, well, if you don't specify that, then that's saying that overall, debate and everything, Andrew's the winner.
And my argument is going to be how much he won. And I think Andrew Wilson won because, let me explain it to you how much he won. And I think he won more than Candace won. And my argument is going to be
he won more than Candace.
Very, very weird. You ready?
Go ahead.
You ready? This guy spent $300,000 and got somewhere between.
He won more than Candace, but he doesn't talk at all about anything in the debate. We're already talking about money.
$50 to $200 million of ad viewership.
Yeah, great point.
So guess what?
He's a big winner.
My wife at home says, who was the guy? I've never seen him before. My dad says, I've never. Most people, his YouTube channel only had 180, 200,000 subs.
Yeah.
Very good, eloquent. I've had him on. He's been on Rogan a couple times. So he's getting the momentum. I think Andrew Wilson won because for everybody that says, what an idiot to give $300,000, I think it's the same story as Kanye spent $7 million on an ad for Super Bowl and sold $25 million of merch. I think Andrew Wilson won because overnight now everybody knows who he is.
Yeah.
But not because of what he said in the debate. Remember that. It's only because of how much money is coming from this.
Very simple. So from the business standpoint,
Great point.
Andrew Wilson made a lot more than $300,000.
And so I brought that up a couple of times on other platforms because that's exactly what I said. I said PBD declared Andrew Wilson as the winner, all because he made a bag from it. And that is the biggest issue I have with this entire debate. I've said it since day one. right? A whole bunch of hate that came from it. That's fine. That's the point of social media. I love those conversations where it brings a lot of different people from a lot of different areas and thought processes and opinions and perspectives. And there's going to be a lot of headbutting in the comments. I like that. Okay. It challenges you and it's uncomfortable. But that's what I brought up from day one. I said, yo, I don't, all the money, I don't like that, because that tends to only, like, when people that are in that higher up, the elites and all that other stuff, those are the people that throw money around left and right. And it's almost like I don't even know how to explain it or put it into words. It's one of those things where it's like they know that us regular people will never, ever, ever, like, I don't want to say that. We are more than likely not to see like $300,000 at one time, right? Like in your bank account at once. Because I'm saying that because he apparently sent $300,000 to Candace at one time. So a lot of us will not see it at once. And so it just rubbed me the wrong way when they was, oh, I do 300,000, and then Candace was like, let's bump it up to 500,000. All of that stuff rubbing the wrong way, right? We already talked about that before. But knowing that, the context of everything, right? Candace talked about how rushed this was, how rushed everybody had to get contracts and lawyers together, and the day of, nobody still knew what they was doing, but they was trying to get everything together. And then the debate happens, and I made a video about it before, and I said, we as American people are way too satisfied with terrible products and like a terrible, it's a terrible product. Like all of this money, right? Cool. Y'all can do all of that, but you have to release a great product for us to watch, great content. And it was terrible. And I said, we as American people are way too satisfied, and we are way too easily entertained by these entertainers and performers to the point where they're not held to a standard that they should be. If they're going to be throwing around this type of money, then they need to be held to a standard, which is this better be a great product. You got all these people watching folks talking about they taking off work and all the other stuff. For Andrew Wilson to get on there and say, man, I don't even know anything. I was looking up stuff on my way here. And that's why I say I don't understand how y'all don't feel disrespected. I said that a million times. How do y'all not feel disrespected? Y'all know they ate off us. Y'all know that. And these folks are talking about, yo. And Candace, you better take that $300,000, girl. Like they doing all this propping up with these people that we don't know. If you know Candace, that's a whole nother conversation. But a lot of most people, we don't know these people. And everybody just propping them up and just lifting these performers up. And I'm like, dog, y'all are way too satisfied. For y'all to know that folks is making full mortgages from sitting down talking in this economy, bro, like all due respect, like in this economy, it's kind of like tone deaf and disrespectful to be just throwing around that type of bread and conversations on stuff like, hey, I'll give you a whole house to sit down and talk. And nah, don't give me a whole house. I want 500,000. Sit down and talk. And then we all like, shoot, I gotta put gas in my truck tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna fill it up though. Like that's us, right? Shoot, eggs is high. Depending on, you know what I mean, what Trump doing with what's going on over there. Is oil going up? Is gas going up? Like we having all of these conversations because that's us. That's our life. But then they are, hey man, I'll give you $300,000 to sit down and talk. I'll give you $500,000 to sit down and talk. You got PBD. He goes into a much longer segment in his show about how much money, potential money and earnings that Andrew Wilson made from this. And I say, no, there's no way nobody is pissed off, or at least just like a little put off by somebody like Andrew Wilson not knowing a dang thing about what he was going to debate, making everybody's salary in one day. And everybody just so hype about it. And they're not necessarily hype about Andrew Wilson making it, but they're hype about Candace making the 300K, right? And I keep on saying, I'm like, cool, you can gas up Candace. I don't know her, so I that's a whole nother conversation because I don't really gas up any like human and stuff like that. But I'm like, I think y'all are missing the point. She can make whatever she want, right? But I'm just trying to figure out why y'all are not also thinking about how she brought on Andrew Wilson to make everybody's salaries in a day. She did that too. She played a role in it, right? She everybody there, PBD, all of these people, they did this. But you know, that's the whole, you know what I mean? I don't whatever, bro. Can't get everybody to understand it. I just think that hearing PBD come out on his podcast and pretty much confirm that in his mind, I can't speak for Candace, I can't speak for Andrew Wilson, but in his mind, his only motivation from that whole thing that he got from it was money. And he just said it. He literally said it himself. Andrew Wilson won. Why? Because you know how much money? He just went straight into it. Didn't say not one thing about the substance of what Andrew said. Mind you, Andrew represents his side. And he didn't even say anything that said, yeah, bro, what Andrew said is exactly how I feel, blah, blah, all that. I know he said he wanted to kind of stay out of it because he was the moderator. But Andrew represents his side. And he didn't even say like any of that, bro. And then on top of that, in that same podcast, down the line, he says that they go through percentages. And they're like, all right, what is y'all percent on this person doing this? Like, if you want to think of other theories of what happened to Charlie, let's give percents, right? They started going through that. PBD said after the debate that he is still 90%. I think he said 89 to be exact. He is 89% that the left did this to Charlie. Pretty much insinuating that Tyler Robinson. You know what I mean? He believes the original narrative at 89%. So how in the world? That's what I'm saying, bro. The guy, they made all this money and the guy left from there and he still believes the original narrative, even though, right, Andrew did not bring any substance to the table at all. And Candace defended and supported her claims way better. And this guy still left from there talking about, I'm 89% positive. I'm at 89%, I believe in the original narrative at 89%. Did you listen to anything Candace said? This is what I be talking about with everybody, bro. Like, not I don't know. I think he said 89. I could be wrong though, but I think he said 89. Somebody on TikTok said 75. But I think he said 89. Either way, I'm like, bro, he said 89%. And then on top of that, he said that Andrew Wilson won. Like, what are we talking about, bro? It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. But I think he revealed, to me, that was Donkey of the Day because he revealed, in my opinion, what it was all about. And that to me is just kind of icky. It's icky because, again, they don't even got to mention how much money is being thrown around and how much money it takes to do this and that. They don't even got to mention all that. But for some reason, everybody wanted to throw out dollar signs. Everybody wanted to throw out 300,000, 500,000. PBD said in that same podcast, they talked about how they took a PJ to Candace's place. And then I think it was, I don't know if it wasn't Adam. I think it was Vinny. Somebody in the back was like, and it was a huge PJ. It was a big PJ that they took to Candace's place. And I'm like, see what I'm saying, bro? That's all everybody talking about. How much money? To my fuel costs. PBD was like, how much the fuel cost? Roughly about $50,000. Right. As we all just at work clocking in, watching the debate. And he's like, you know what I mean? It's just, so I think he revealed something as just a very bigger picture perspective that that bothers me. That bothers me. Because I just don't agree with all of that. And I made a video about it today. I don't want to get into it right now, but I made a video about it today, just basically saying that even from Candace's perspective, in my opinion, I think that it's all right. I don't want to get into it. There are days where I pick my battles, and I've picked it on TikTok. So we'll talk about it in the after party. Or you can just look at what I said on TikTok, because I don't feel like getting into that. So let's get into Candace's episode today, because apparently so ridiculous. I know, and you be speaking facts too, Pearly Pop. I appreciate. I be looking. You be speaking facts. Let's get into Candace's episode today. She talks about apparently she revealed some new footage of Terryl Farnsworth. Nope, I did. You did not miss it. We are covering Candace's episode right now. That's crazy. A PJ is like 25,000 a day to fly. Right. So just keep that in mind, right? Keep that in mind. They took a private jet to Candace's place, and they did not pay for it. They also mentioned that they did not pay for it. This is, people just have to be open to having those conversations. Okay, that we are normal. Okay, we are not them. We are not them. All right, let me pull up Candace's thing. The receipt from the steakhouse. She never backed off the steakhouse is on her timeline. Yeah, I think she was pretty firm on the steakhouse thing. She was going back and forth with Andrew about that, but I think she stayed pretty firm on that. The only thing I would have asked if I was Andrew, but again, Andrew doesn't know anything. But the steakhouse did put out a statement saying that they don't really have, I forgot what the statement exactly said, but it said something about like they don't really have like the proof that Tyler Robinson was there. Like they put out a statement. And so if I was Andrew, I would have said, what was that? And then Candace would have, not saying that Candace is lying, he probably would have tried to do that as a gotcha moment, but Candace can further explain why would the steakhouse put out a statement going against what you're saying right now at this moment. You're saying that the receipt is true. You're saying that you talked to the owner, but the owner clearly approved the steakhouse putting out a statement saying that they don't really know if he was there or not. So these are the things that I'm saying that should have went down in the debate that Andrew Wilson didn't do. But yes, the receipt, Diligent, and Candace all talked about a receipt. And even Diligent said that he already talked to the manager. And yes, they cannot prove that Tyler Robinson was there because the cameras weren't on. You know what I mean? And the restaurant owner wasn't there either. So the statement still is not saying that Tyler Robinson wasn't there. The statement was just saying that they can't prove, like they don't have any like concrete evidence and proof that he was there outside of like that receipt or whatever. So it was just this weird wording. But again, Andrew Wilson didn't even get into that. Whoa, relax. Come on, relax. No. This is an Atlanta type of night here, you know what I mean? Atlanta type of night. I can't even get up right now. Shorts, all that. Don't do me like that. All right. Let's get into this Terryl Farnsworth footage. Man,
you, Andrew, but you said cards, and what we noticed was that it was card. It was that one first. It struck me and others as odd, but here's Andrew reinforcing the narrative that this is a conspiracy theory. There was nothing special about that particular footage behind Terrell's head. He was actually worried about all of it. But actually, if you keep reading Terrell's 1102 statements, it flies in the face of what Andrew has said. There was something unique about the footage behind Charlie's head. There had to be something particular about that footage, which moved Terrell or maybe someone in the SBI, but it's not clear, to create a clip out of only.
And I agree. Looking at that comment, have to admit you've been wrapped up in the debate and stuff like that. Yeah, you're not wrong. That's why I said a lot of this stuff is distractions. And as soon as like the debate started going on, and I was like, something's off, bro. Like, And I really started like looking into everything. And yeah, I mean, you know, there's a lot of things going on. You got the Lindsay Clancy thing, or whatever how you pronounce her last name. Then you got the Tupac trial that just started. Iran is still going on. Gaza is still going on. It's a lot of stuff that's still happening that you know, it is crazy. And then it's also crazy that, you know, Charlie is next month, the anniversary, right? It's already been a year. And the judge is going to rule if the trial is going to happen or not in September as well. Like, none of these things are coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. So I just find it crazy that this is the decision is happening also in September. So, you know, I think that debate was strategically planned for something. And you know, these are bigger conversations that I'm not ready to have yet on live without planning for that.
The footage behind behind Charlie's head, just that back footage. We're going to read the rest of the statement. Okay. Terryl writes in the statement, and we can pull up that statement if you guys have it. It reads, regarding the clip, which has been labeled 80704, turning point footage of the crowd and behind.
Hold on. Okay. I've seen this already. What's the new footage? All right, here we go.
He looks down at it and he the SD. It's pretty soon. The camera all together. If you're worried about theft, take the whole camera. It's pretty small. It's in your hand. He doesn't do that. He takes it apart and he takes the SD card out. And he looks around. He wants to see who's looking at him.
Wait, this is also kind of weird too, because they also said he was like so worried that people were stealing stuff. I'm like, bro, nobody is doing anything right now. Everybody has literally ran for their life, or running for their lives. And he's sitting there just fiddling and playing with everything. So nobody is interested in stealing the cameras or the SD card.
And then he looks down at it and he walks around. And we had wondered, what did Terryl do when he walked around? He hasn't addressed any other camera there, just that one. Well, you don't have to wonder what he did anymore, because today I can tell you what Terryl did, because I've actually known what Terryl did since October. As I was wondering who could be trusted at Turning Point USA. And like I said to you instantly, there was a network of government employees that were fighting to get the truth out and wondering who they could trust as well. And now appears to be the moment to not tell you what Terryl did, but to rather show you and let you draw your own conclusions about whether Terryl appeared concerned about anything other than that particular footage. Okay. Here is what Terryl did thereafter.
Look, y'all are funny. Said more footage Candace has held for months on end for quite literally no reason. Look, you gonna get in trouble. Don't be talking like that. You know, I don't know. I don't know. Let's just watch it.
Seen for the first time. Terryl is there. He looks around again, nervously, and he puts the SD card in his pocket and he zips up. He doesn't run to the other cameras and try to grab the SD card. Instead, what he does is he whips out his phone and he begins texting.
Oh, man, this is so weird, bro. It's so weird because let me just keep watching.
With someone. And that's what he does. He's texting with someone to say what? Who's he texting? What's he saying? If he's just out there fighting evil and worried about securing the footage, why didn't he grab the other SD card or 3 of them in a row? Who is he in communication with after he grabs that? Because I got to tell you something, Andrew. Were it me and I was amongst my peers sitting on a jury, I would not accept your narrative that he looks like he's worried about people stealing. Not about the hats, not about the other footage, not about the cameras. It looks to me like, and again, this is my opinion, it looks to me like he's completing a task and checking in with someone to say that a task is completed. Maybe, I don't know. I'm open to everything. Maybe there was some police officer who told him to take that footage in particular. I'm told that didn't happen. And I will say this, that when someone demonstrates that they are capable of lying to you, you have a right to take note. And Terryl lied to me. He lied to me.
The crazy thing is, like, this is what I find odd. I just find it odd that things like this, nobody is talking about. You know what I mean? Like, nobody, as far as you know, the trial. Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing, right? The prelim. Nobody's talking about any of this stuff. Any of it. I did find out, like, that was one of the I forget who brought that up, but that is like a very, very great point. Like, that's what makes you wonder, right? These are the uncomfortable conversations that everybody has to be okay with. And it is, with all of this, like, damning evidence, right? These damning, like, incriminating videos and pictures and all these other stuff. Why in the world does nobody talk about it? Nobody. Mainstream media, yes. But even, you could take out mainstream media. The people that are representing Tyler Robinson, I mean, I can't, it's hard to say they don't care, because I don't know. It just appears to look that way. These people don't reach out to Candace or Barron or any of these people. And, you know, we already had conversations about how, like, there's only like a handful of people that have information. That's a whole nother conversation. But point is, they don't reach out to them. That it's strange. It's just strange. You know what I mean? Like, this right here is another thing that would help your client. And me and JR talked about it the other night for everybody that was listening to that collab. But I have changed my perspective on the prelim, because a lot of people have been pushing the whole, like, it's a prelim. And yes, I'm not in law, so I'm not going to sit here and say that's my expertise. I'm not trying to tell anybody that I know more, any of that. My opinion here, and my opinion could not matter to you. That's fine. And my opinion definitely does not matter in the court of law. That's fine. All right. So literally just sitting here yapping. But when it comes to the prelim, a lot of people have been saying, like, oh, the prelim, I'm just pulling it down for a second. The prelim is a place where the prosecution comes and they show their most damning evidence and hard evidence and stuff like that to, you know, it's a probable cause hearing. And we've been hearing that was a time where the defense is not going to defend their client and defend every single point and defend all of the evidence. We've been hearing that from a lot of people, saying that the defense would not come out and do X, Y, and Z. They would wait for the trial. And I honestly, at one point in time, understood that, right? But now I'm changing my perspective a bit, especially after I was talking with JR, because he feels the same way. And it's, if Candace, for example, is at 0% that Tyler Robinson did it, 0. If she's at 0%, then why would somebody that is defending Tyler Robinson would want him to be in jail for another day if he had a 0% chance of doing this crime? I don't understand that. I really don't. Like, to me, if he wasn't on campus, if he, all of this crazy evidence, I would literally defend that at the prelim. No, we're not going to trial. No, we're not waiting another 2-3 months for the decision in September. And no, we're not waiting another 6 months for the trial. No, my client will be free immediately if I'm at 0%. So I don't understand. I really don't. He's just sitting in jail when there's a 0% chance that he did the crime. And I love the question that I believe it was Adam from the PBD podcast. I love the question that he asked PBD. He was like, okay, so don't you feel bad for Tyler Robinson then? Like, shouldn't we all feel terrible because if it's 0%, right? If we're taking Candace's logic, or Candace's percent, and yes, she may know things that we don't know. But if it's 0%, then people should feel so bad for Tyler Robinson. People should feel terrible because this is this innocent man that's about to get put to death. But yet people are like, no. The defense, they don't defend their client at the prelim. They wait until the trial next year. Like, that don't make sense to me. I'm not gonna lie. It did at one point, but then I every week that went by, I started to think like, I don't know, man. If there was like really, really, really insane evidence to prove that Tyler Robinson wasn't even there, I think the defense would have came out and said, look, he wasn't even there. There is no reason to go to trial. I'm not going to sit here and wait until the trial to defend this man when I'm sitting here telling you right here that he wasn't even there. All right, so let's go ahead and get these charges exonerated. He's gone. I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird.
About his fears regarding Google. It is therefore my opinion on the basis of everything that we are observing with our eyes, everything that I am observing with.
I know y'all saying it's not how it works, but like, again, you got to explain more to me than that. Don't just say that's not how it works. Just tell me about why somebody that has a 0% chance of doing a crime would she feel, or would anybody feel like this person would sit in jail for over a year when they are completely innocent, right? 0% chance of what they're charged with. Could they be involved in some type of way? Sure, but that's a whole nother case. So people are going to have to start explaining if it's 0%, then why would the defense not care about any of these things that Candace has brought up or Barron has brought up?
My two eyes, his mannerisms, the beeline to that footage so quickly within 4 or 5 minutes, as if that had to be secured. The 11:02 statement, where we know that footage in particular was clipped. I'm speculating because it was zoomed in. The questions that Kathy Nestor asked thereafter, things that she asserted about, they don't know whether or not that footage was edited. Your claim that the FBI has it, why? It's a Utah case. Why would the FBI have the SD cards? When I observe everything with my eyes, again.
I disagree with that though. Not Candace. I'm reading comments. They said because they have enough to hold him. Are you holding my client because he pulled you're accusing him of pulling the trigger and murdering somebody? Because if you're talking about all this other stuff of we're holding Tyler Robinson because he was on campus that day, that's not a crime. You're holding Tyler Robinson because he drives a similar car and that car was on campus that day. That's not a crime. My client is not about to sit in prison or jail for an entire year because he was on campus that day. You're gonna have to bring more than that. You're holding him because you say he pulled the trigger, and I'm sitting here telling you that he wasn't even there. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, the confession text. Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know, bro. It's crazy.
I don't think they're going to call me for jury duty in Utah, but it demonstrates to me that footage was prioritized. So now the question is why? It was zoomed in, and if Nissi is correct, and this was unusual and knew that footage would be zoomed in, then the only thing that would be accomplished by that sort of a crop and a zoom in would be not showing us what happened below Charlie. But I need that footage. I'm being sued by Brian Harple. I'm going to need that footage. I'm going to need to trace that footage and to be able to understand the custody of that footage and whether or not, as Kathy Nestor is asking, it was edited before it was given via Google Link or via flash drive to the SBI. And I'm genuinely asking questions here. But why did Terryl tell me that he spoke with Erica about that footage specifically? Again, he was lying a lot on that phone call. So I can't assert that he was telling the truth, but I do know, and I have proof that that's what he told me. And why did Turning Point USA gaslight us about the significance of the footage? Now we can read the case and see that there was something about that footage that required something different than the other cameras and the other videos that were running. So it's significant enough for the SBI to create a specialized clip from it, or Terryl to create a specialized clip from it. Why continually gaslight the public into believing otherwise?
Okay, I don't think no offense, but I don't think she's gonna say anything else because she's saying the same thing. Joe Rogan discusses the case. Let me see what Joe Rogan had to say.
Well, guess what? People are taking notice of that being odd as well. You're going after the people who are investigating it, and you're becoming increasingly more vicious in how you do it. You're spending a lot of money to do it. You are lying on record, getting caught in lies, and then gaslighting us by saying you don't have a right to recognize those lies. You recognize those lies. You have no right to recognize those lies. It's demonic for you to notice them. It's not working. And this is...
Yeah, I mean, I see your comment. You said that do you... Oh, that's a whole nother... Yeah, I've listened to Stu Peters, but I have you know, I have my thoughts about that. Where does that comment go? Do you know Tyler Robinson admitted to killing CK? Yeah, I mean, yeah, again, we got the text messages, but it's you know, it's off Lance's phone or it's in the court documents. We haven't really seen anything that was pulled, you know, directly from Tyler Robinson's phone yet. So we'll see. You know, again, these are all the weird things that go on in this case because they took a picture of Lance's phone versus just downloading the data. And maybe they downloaded the data and put it in the court documents. I don't know. But when they took a picture of Lance's phone, you know, the time was conveniently, the part of the iPhone was broken. And then in the court documents, they don't even provide timestamps in the court documents. So it's like, it's so many just random things that are going on. But Tyler Robinson, you know, yeah, there are a lot of confessions that he is, you know, doing in text messages and Discord chats and all the other stuff. But these are the things that, like, you know, from a judicial system perspective, do y'all think that they gonna go to the depths of like figuring out, you know, who are in the Discord chat, who is in the Discord chats? Like, why haven't we heard from that? Maybe it'll come up in trial. I don't know. But like, it's supposedly it was like 20 people in the Discord chat. Okay, cool. So show me one of them so I can know that was real, a real person in the group chat. They can come out and, you know, say, yeah, it was me in the group chat, blah, blah. I'm a regular person. Because it could have been fabricated. You know what I mean? I don't know. The text messages too. The text messages could have easily been Lance Twiggs at home texting himself from Tyler Robinson's laptop to, you know, line everything up. Like, who knows? But again, if that receipt is true from the steakhouse, then that destroys everything. Because he couldn't have been at the steakhouse and then also been, you know, on campus 3 hours away looking for his rifle. You know what I mean? Like, that just doesn't make any sense. That was another thing that I just couldn't believe that they didn't talk about in the debate, which was, you know, the Ring camera catching a bald man driving a Charger or the Challenger with 3 people in it. You know, all of those things like that. It's just like, I don't know. And that was something the defense brought up. The defense brought up the bald man with the three people. So that's why I'm like, the defense did bring up things that makes you go, So I'm not really going for the whole like, oh, they it's not their time to bring up anything. Because that was a time where everybody was like, whoa, interesting. And I feel like if the evidence proves that he literally wasn't even there, that was the time to do it. Keep on going. Candace brought the car up. Oh, okay. I think, but she only brought up like the multiple challengers on campus that day. I don't remember her bringing up the bald man with 3 people driving in the car. The bald man driving with 3 people in the car. That's what I meant to say. Let's see what Joe Rogan had to say.
This has gone mainstream, obviously, and it is being discussed on the biggest platforms in the world, whether that's Sean Ryan or more recently Joe Rogan, who had a laugh alongside his guests, Mark Normand, Shane Gillis, and Ari Schaefer, as they were discussing the Tyler Robinson case and the odd and increasingly odd public relations campaign that is surrounding Erica Kirk. Take a listen.
I get it. Wearing that mask for a little bit, though, I genuinely, both Duncan and I, both gained respect for the furries.
Yeah, but then they shoot the president.
Nah, I don't know if they
Wasn't that
did.
guy a furry?
No, he loved a furry.
Oh, he loved a furry. So.
Yeah, but I'm not even sure if that's true.
Right.
The more time goes on, the more I'm leaning towards Candace Owens. I don't think any story that you hear in the news is accurate.
I think there's always none or spin on it at least.
There's always some spin.
But the
and
public
so whatever the spin is, whatever the spin is about Tyler Robinson, there's some bullshit to it. I don't know how much of it is bullshit, but there's some bullshit. And one of the more recent bullshit is they found a photo that they were saying was Tyler Robinson, but then people noticed that the because he's real thin, people noticed that the cars in the background, the proportions were distorted. And then they realized that what they had done was taken a guy who's like much wider than Tyler Robinson and shrunken the perspective.
Really?
Yep. Yep. And then when you see him for what he really looks like, you're like, oh, there's no way that's that guy. That guy's big.
And then you're like, well, it's mostly true. Like, no,
It
no,
doesn't
he's
add up.
shifting.
No,
it.
they changed. Like, you look at the hood of the cars behind them; they're all like that narrow.
Who is that guy?
What guy?
Tyler Robinson.
He was the guy who supposedly shot Charlie Kirk.
Kirk, yeah, not the president.
Have you ever seen Drewski's America Kirk?
Yeah, I thought it
Were
was
people
Erica.
threaning him? They were going to sue him for that.
I don't know. It's funny
Which
though.
was, it
He's
would have been
so
the best
funny.
thing that ever
Stares at
happened
the
to him.
camera.
When he came out, he started doing cartwheels and with white face on.
He's killing it. That guy.
White
Every
face
video kills
rules.
it. When he goes to the
man.
NASCAR,
Yeah, he's
unbelievable.
funny dude. Funny dude. People that got upset with that, shut up.
I know.
You don't think it's weird the lady comes out, the sparklers behind her? You're out of your mind. That's insane.
I
You
know.
don't think someone can make fun of that?
She walks out like Randy Orton. Goldberg coming out of the car. He's going out.
Undertaker.
The Queen wore black for 80 years. Coming out
Whole
the
thing
car.
is crazy.
In interviews, she dresses like SEAL Team 6. She's all blacked out with like a black hat and everything.
She's serious, bro.
She's serious.
Navy SEAL
Very serious.
podcasters are cool.
She's serious.
You just have to love guy chat. That's exactly how everyone is speaking behind the scenes, and you just have to love Joe Rogan.
Well, Joe Rogan has gone in that White House many, many, many times. And Joe Rogan has never, ever expressed any type of concern for what actually happened to Charlie Kirk. So I don't really care what Joe Rogan got to say on his podcast and him shooting it, you know what I mean? Chopping it up with his boys and all that other stuff. That's cool and all of that. But Joe Rogan has been in that White House plenty of times, right behind Trump. Just all, you know what I mean, super friendly, the bros. And he ain't ever said nothing about what actually happened to Charlie. That it's a surface level conversation with Joe Rogan. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to see more than just that. Because that's not enough. That's not enough. There's a lot of people that do that. Tucker Carlson does that, right? There's a lot of people that just like, oh yeah, like I don't know, man, something's kind of odd. Like, I mean, yeah, but what else? And you know, when you start to, we'll see. I don't buy it though. I don't buy it. Joe Rogan has, you know, he could be just like Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly is super cool with Trump. Or no, she's not. No, she's not. But Megyn Kelly will say something's odd, something's weird, but then she'll turn around and still say, yeah, but I still believe that Tyler Robinson did it. And I know Joe Rogan didn't say Tyler Robinson did it. He said allegedly, but again, I don't really believe these podcasters at all. At all, especially when he's super cool with Trump and he's never said a word about something being extremely odd about Charlie Kirk at all. He's never said anything like that. So we'll see. I think that's all that I seen her thing, her video. Let me go through some things that I saw on X. I have heard about this. Andrew Wilson. Now that everybody knows who he is, which I already knew who he was, but apparently he is going to be dropping the text message, the Charlie Kirk text message about the left was gonna do this to me. Apparently he's dropping that text on Friday, he said. So we shall see. That'll be very, very interesting. Now, he wasn't the one that broke the news. Like, we already knew that because Candace said that's what was said in the 4-hour meeting. I remember that with Erica, or not the 4-hour meeting, the face-to-face meeting with Erica. She said that a long time ago. So I already knew that this whole like, oh, the left was gonna come after me, because that's what Erica told Candace. Candace didn't have the proof that of the other text. She only had the one that was sent to Andrew Kovac saying they were going to kill me. So we already know that like exists, but I guess he's going to show the proof, which would be interesting, because I do want to see like timestamps and what was said. Was there anybody else in the group chat? We'll see. So it's weird listening to him, but I guess we got to be fair. Content is content. So let's pull him up.
Who was giving messages that he thought was relevant to the police, didn't think to give them a message that said the left is going to kill me. But particularly when we sat down, she was like, have you seen the message? And I said, no. And she said, oh, it said the left, and it was on Signal. And I told you guys that was a double lie.
Yeah, see, that's what I was talking about. We already knew. So when Andrew brought this up in the debate, I was like, we already knew this. The only thing that would be different is if you actually show the text messages.
She lied again. The message was actually sent on iMessage. Well, Andrew says he's going to be dropped.
She won, but watch her never debate this topic again. It's very strange behavior for a...
Yeah, but you got to remember the timeline. So like Erica said that she never, or Charlie never said that. And then Candace dropped the proof, or at least revealed it by saying, well, he texted Andrew Kovac. And then that was a whole thing, because everybody was like, oh my gosh, he texted Andrew Kovac. That he was gonna, he felt like they was gonna kill him, blah, blah. But then Candace said that she didn't know what he texted Dan Flood. And so Candace said that after Erica went on Glenn Beck already. And so that's when they had the face-to-face meeting. And then that's when Erica said, oh, well, that message said the left. So like, it wasn't like a gotcha moment or like oh snap, like Erica's a liar. Like this already happened. But I know so many things happen that like everybody we just tend to forget, because it's a lot.
Winner. And the massive attacks are not how winners usually operate in debates. I'm just going to let you know that right now.
Dropping this message because he actually didn't want to show the message for some reason. He wanted this big sort of weird opening where people are going to go, oh.
No. The reason I chose not to show the message when we were at the debate is because I felt like giving Candace a taste of her own medicine. And when I do reveal it come Friday night, everybody will be watching that live, including her, which I think is ironically fucking hilarious.
And everyone just thought it was really strange for Turning Point USA.
Nobody thought it was strange.
To not have presented that message, which actually, if they really had a message that said this, their entire narrative has been the left killed Charlie Kirk. Why wouldn't you share that? That seems weird. Why didn't you?
Well, what's really interesting is like, why is it in good faith they should?
He does kind of sound like Ben. He's like Ben Shapiro's big brother.
Share it with people who just accuse them of fucking wrongdoing over and over and over and over again.
You share that with authorities when you were sharing messages. And Andrew, we're supposed to believe you didn't tell her for 4 months, but you told me in September. And Erica went on Glenn Beck to debunk me and say I was a liar. And now it's just looking real bad for Turning Point USA. So fingers.
Most bizarre spins that these people make It's almost like for some reason they've never dealt with Occam's razor. They don't understand that the simplest explanation is usually the correct one. They just don't. They have no concept that this could be the case. Like, oh, there's lots of people who are involved in the tangential ways around this case. You know, like the people you're accusing of murder and this type of thing. It's like if they're tangentially involved around this because of all these accusations that you're making, or because people are asking them tons of questions about this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Many of them are not good faith interlocutors. Many of them are not good faith interlocutors. I wouldn't fucking want to share anything with them, to be perfectly honest with you.
This is the real Andrew Wilson, bro. I was so surprised that he didn't cuss at all in that debate last Friday.
Crossed, guys, because I always have a surprise. Fingers crossed that Andrew, who has promised that he's going to release this on his show because he's got evidence, actually does release that message.
I will. Why are you guys messing with the proportions on her stream? Are you trying to normalize the Tyler Robinson photos?
Which is supposed to be on
Hey, E, grab me a cup of coffee.
on Signal, but I know for a fact is on iMessage. So, yeah. Anyway, moving.
I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens on Friday and who debunks who. Because yeah, we already knew a message existed. So and yes, Erica. Well, again, this is one of those things that, according to Candace, because we don't know, we can't verify because it was a private meeting. She said that the message was on other apps. That's what Erica said. And so, if Andrew Wilson does come out and say and show that it was an iMessage, which proves Candace right, then that's when Erica will be a proven liar again, because she did say that it was on other messages or other messaging apps. So we'll see. I guess we shall see how Friday goes. Let me see. Let's see. So I saw this clip of Erica. Apparently she's at a Turning Point, I think, faith event tonight. I haven't listened to it yet. Let me see what she's saying right here.
Evil eats itself. It just does. You just have to wait it out. And that's why if you just wait on the Lord, he will confuse, he will, and he'll just, they'll just give you themselves. It's like, it's a thing. You can watch it, you can watch it in real time. But the
What?
Evil eats itself. It just does. You just have to wait it out. And that's why if you just wait on the Lord, he will confuse, he will, and he'll just.
Evil eats itself. I hate when I try to like think about what she's saying, because I truly do get a little dumber.
Evil eats itself. It just does. You just have to wait it out. And that's why if you just wait on the Lord, he will confuse, he will, and he'll just, they'll just give you themselves. It's like, it's a thing. You can watch it, you can watch it in real time. But
she don't even know what she's trying to say. You got somebody in the back talking about, yup, like, bro, what? Explain it. Y'all remember that? Oh my gosh, this is like old humor right here. Old TikTok or maybe Vine or something like that. No, I think it's TikTok. It's old humor where somebody would like make it is TikTok. And the guy would like, say like a corny joke or something like that. And then the guy would be like, you get it? And then the guy would be like, oh yeah. And he'd be like, explain it. That is one of those times. I would love to go to that guy or her or the guy that's in the crowd talking about, yep. I'd be like, hey bro, what she mean by that? What she mean? Can you explain that to me? Because she can't even explain it.
Evil eats itself. It just does. You just have to wait it out. And that's why if you just wait on the Lord, he will confuse, he will, and he'll just,
see what I'm saying? You're just not, it's performative, bro. It's not natural. It's not natural. Evil eats itself. And let me actually try to break it down.
It just does.
Evil eats itself. It just does. I don't understand what that means, but let's continue.
You just have to wait it out. And that's
you just have to wait it out. Okay.
why if you just wait on the Lord,
wait on the Lord.
he will confuse.
He will confuse.
He will, and he'll just,
He will confuse what? The enemy? The evilness? Why would he want to confuse the evilness when the evilness eats itself? It seems like the evilness knows exactly what it's doing. I would say don't confuse him. Don't confuse the evil, because the evil eats itself. So if anything, the Lord is going to sit back and allow the evil to be the evil. So why would the Lord jump in at all? Now he's saying she's saying the Lord is going to confuse who? Confuse me? Or confuse evil? What are we talking about?
wait on the Lord, he will confuse.
He will confuse. Why would he want to confuse me?
He will, and he'll just, they'll just eat themselves. It's like, it's a thing.
They'll just eat themselves. It's a thing. Bro, what? It's just, yeah, it's performative. And man, the crowd will just, I don't know I don't know if they're paid actors. I don't know. That's the part where I'm like, sometimes I just feel like we live in even though there's a lot of people following the case, I'm like, bro, it's still a very small bubble, because for some reason there are still a whole bunch of kids that take pictures with her. Weird. There's still a whole bunch of old and maybe not like old, but like parents and adults that just be like, oh, look who I met today. And I'm like, dog, what? I don't want to know the things that I know about you. If you don't come out and clarify and just address some of these things, no, you're not going to be around my child. I don't want to take a picture with you. First off, you're not really famous. Who are you? You're literally just the widow, the victim. I don't know. I don't understand how people be like, I mean, I guess she's a political figure now, but when people are just like, oh, look what I met today, I'm like, yeah, I guess I can get that, because ever she is all over the internet, she is a figure for sure. But man, when she be having these crowds packed, I'm like, dog, she don't really be talking about nothing. Someone says she Kamala, yeah, but that's the crazy part. If it was between Kamala and her, I'm going Kamala. I'm going Kamala all day.
You can watch it. You can watch it in real time.
Oh man, well, I guess the full clip of that will come out very soon. Usually they take about a day or two to drop the video of, oh shoot, I forgot to like it, just so I can save it forever. Let's see. There's a clip of Dave Smith and Candace. Let's see what this clip talking about.
Whole spectacle. Anything you
Yes.
want to say? What are your thoughts
Yes.
on it now, a few days out?
As soon as it concluded, I was just flying high because I first and foremost, I was fully confident going into the debate. And despite that, I overstudied, reminded myself of different elements, because you never want to underestimate somebody. But I knew just in the way that he was presenting and the chain smoking and the false bravado, that his whole strategy was going to be to come at me like I was an OnlyFans model. And also why I pushed wanting the debate to happen quickly was because I knew that he didn't care about this
Whole spectacle.
Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah.
Well, I agree. That explains why she wanted it to go too fast. And I agree. He did not know anything, and she didn't want to give him any time. Respect. This was today. I don't know if everything's on YouTube. I don't know, but I do know that it was today. And I definitely cannot. We might have to the next episode, I'll probably try to go through it and get some clips and stuff and have it ready for the next Yappisode. But that was today. Let's see. Man, I can't even play that. It's a clip of Nick Fuentes going in on Candace and Tucker Carlson. I'm interested, but I'll save that. I'll say that for the next episode. It's all yeah, that's interesting too. Oh, someone sent me this of Paramount Tactical. Wait, play what? Nick Fuentes? I'll play it.
Can never, ever forgive Candace Owens or Tucker Carlson for. They can never forgive them for what I'm about to say. Whatever you think about what happened on September 10th, whoever you think did it, it doesn't matter on some level. Whether he was shot or blown up, who pulled the trigger, or who was in Tyler Robinson's ear that made him pull the trigger, all of that exists independently from one very inconvenient fact, well documented thoroughly, which is that Charlie Kirk died that day, publicly, gruesomely. It was horrific. And people that didn't even like him cried that day, but not everybody. There were hundreds, thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of left-wingers. Their first reaction, seeing a young man, 31 years old with a wife and kids, publicly executed, his neck gushing with blood in front of hundreds of college students, their first reaction was to smile and laugh, and then to celebrate, and then film themselves celebrating, because that's how wicked they are. That's how much hatred the left has for us, all of us. That's who Charlie Kirk was. He represents all of us. I didn't like him. He didn't like me. I didn't agree with him. He didn't agree with me. He thought I should have been censored. But the left hates Charlie Kirk because he says the things that we all basically believe, because he defended Christianity, because he defended white people, because he defended America. He defended tradition. He defended conservatism. He defended free markets and the right to own the product of our labor. In the broad strokes, we're all pretty much in alignment with Charlie Kirk. And because he was the face promoting those values, that's how much hatred they harbor for him. And we live with these people. These people are our neighbors. They work with us. They go to school with our kids. They're your elder.
This is that pushing like the political division and trying to push the wedge between people of the whole left and right thing. Y'all know I can't stand having that conversation, or not having that conversation. I can't stand when people do this, because it's not at all a left versus right thing. But these people try to go so far into saying that the left wants you dead. Like Andrew Kovach has said that before. The left wants you dead. The left this, the left that. And I'm like, bro, it's not that at all. Are there radicals? Are there radicalized people on both sides? Absolutely. But those are just radicalized people in general. There's no such thing, bro, as Democrats and liberals want you just dead. And why are we living amongst them? And I mean, that is just a crazy, crazy thing to say, to think that you are more superior than somebody else just because you love your party and you love your side. This whole left and right thing. I mean, I watched Didi's podcast earlier today, and he makes a great point about just like this intentional division, and it's intentional, it's structured in similar ways. He raised a great point about how the left and right is, it's always opposites. He always talked about, he talked about how the left and right is one is blue and one is red. Then you think about the manufactured beef in Black communities, or in a lot of communities in general, about Bloods and Crips. That's left and right. That's blue and red. And it's just these things that are just put in place just to make us all hate each other. That's what this is. It's just, it's manufactured. They do not want us coming together and realizing that there's more of us than them. It is. It's 342 million people in America. If we all came together on something, they would hate that. So they have to come up with these things every couple of months to keep us divided. Charlie Kirk is one of them. They created this thing with Charlie Kirk to divide all of us, to hate each other and come up with these different things on why I don't like this person, why I don't like that person. And it just gonna keep it happening. They're gonna keep it going, unfortunately. But I hate his conversation right here about him feeling superior, more superior than the left, than people who are on that side.
Clearly, parents, nurses, they work with them.
Facts. My entire family is the left. My entire family. I will be the only person that would confidently say, and they all know that too, because everybody has listened to me before. Everybody's seen podcasts. Everybody knows that you ain't got to worry about it. Jay is for sure going to have a crazy opinion and perspective on what's going on. I'm not gonna like Kamala. I'm not gonna like Democrats. They already know that, bro. So like, that's the crazy part, is when they say stuff like that, the left wants you dead and blah blah. I'm like, so my mom wants me dead. My mom's a Democrat. My dad's a Democrat. We're all fine, right? We all can disagree with one another, but still love each other. But why is that not the conversation and the talk from the people on the right? The right. Andrew Covett, Nick Fuentes, these are two people that I could think of off the top of my mind that would say, the left wants you dead. The left does not want this. The left does not want that. What? That's not true at all. My mom calls me all the time, and they know exactly where I stand. And they know I don't support any of that stuff that they be having going on, but that don't mean nothing, no. It's crazy.
And we live with these people. These people are our neighbors. They work with us. They go to school with our kids. They're your elder.
Where do you want them to be, Nick? Where do you want them to go? They go to school with us. They're our neighbors. They're our coworkers. Where exactly do you want those people to go? Please explain. What's your solution?
Elderly parents, nurses. They're your children's teachers. Their first reaction to seeing an innocent man shot in the neck, blood gushing from his neck in front of kids who came and brought the shirt and the hat just to see him defend Christianity in America, their gut reaction, instinctual reaction, was glee. They were happy. They smiled. They laughed. And those people are the sole beneficiaries of the conspiracy. That's all you need to know. The hatred that killed Charlie Kirk, the people that hated him, that celebrated his murder, that said his wife should have gotten it, those people are the sole beneficiaries of his death. Of the conspiracy that has discredited his organization, the conspiracy.
Who said Erica should have? I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's saying, people are saying it now. I don't know. What are you talking about, bro?
That divided the right, that got them off, that is the series of his death. Of his death, people are the sole beneficiaries of his death. Of his death, of the conspiracy that has discredited his organization, the conspiracy that divided the right, that got them off the hook. Those smiles should have been turned into frowns very quickly by the Trump government. What else is the Trump government there to do? Why else do we have it? Why else were we a part of this movement other than that? Where there were smiles and grinning and laughing, there should have been crying and the gnashing of teeth from those wicked people. The government should have absolutely crushed those people, deservedly so, because it's happening all the time. And we see it in our society. It's when the healthcare CEO got shot and famous people were celebrating. A father and a husband get murdered by a coward shooting him in the back of the head because they said, well, healthcare is too expensive. So we're murderers now? So we support murder? That's okay now? An innocent man with a wife and kids, and not like that matters. He'd be innocent if he didn't have that. But an innocent man standing outside his hotel, shot in the back of the head by a coward. People celebrate because, healthcare is too expensive. Charlie Kirk shot in the neck, blood gushing, people smiling and celebrating. Why? Because he voted for Trump? Because he supports Trump? Because he wants a meritocracy instead of equity? Those people should have been annihilated. They should have been prevented from ever holding power again. That's what should have happened. And there's an alternate timeline, by the way, where
Yeah, I agree that it's like a small amount of people, small group of people when you compare it to how many people are in America. That was not a large group of people that he's labeling and generalizing now, saying it was all of the left. Every single Democrat in America celebrated Charlie's death. That's crazy. But now I agree to the point of like, nobody should ever be celebrating any death. Like nobody should be celebrating Luigi doing that to that CEO. Like, sure, yes, but again, you should never, ever, ever generalize.
Owens doesn't exist and Tucker Carlson doesn't exist. And a week after Charlie Kirk is assassinated, we round up Antifa, we round up the DSA, we round up the far left agitators and activists and foot soldiers and donors, and we make it so that they are never able to hold power over us ever again. There's an alternate timeline where that happens. And by the way, there's a ripple effect. Think about the timeline. Charlie Kirk killed on September 10th. A few months later, we discover the fraud in Somalia, about the $8 billion these Somalis are stealing from us. We uncover the extent of this. We send Customs and Border Patrol and ICE into the city to clean it up.
Well, this is the part where the left and the right don't exist, Nick Fuentes, because Nick Shirley, who works for the right, uncovered the fraud in Minnesota, and Tim Walsh is directly implicated in doing this, right? These daycares, their phone numbers are going directly to Tim Walsh's office, but then Trump doesn't even do anything to Tim Walsh. They waited like 5 or 6 months to even go up there and raid all of these daycares to look for the documents. Why? Probably to get rid of the evidence. The evidence will show that everybody works together. So this is the thing again about the left and right. Like, Trump doesn't even like Tim Walsh. So if he didn't like Tim Walsh, then why didn't he use this perfect time to go up there and get Tim Walsh locked up? Instead, Trump said, me and Tim Walsh had a great conversation to something about with Minnesota. And then he ended up sending ICE up there. So it seems like they're in cahoots. It was a teamwork thing. Nick Shirley goes up there too, and Nick Shirley has gone in several places that popped off something that was coming in the future. He goes up there, pops it off. Tim Walsh is under fire. He drops from the governor race or whatever. Trump calls Tim Walsh and they have a great conversation. And then Trump goes up there with ICE and they do their thing. That sounds like a teamwork right there. So what are we talking about? But he conveniently misses that part on how all of that fraud was uncovered and nothing happened. Right? Yeah, sure. They deported some of the Somalis and stuff like that. They were just fall guys. They were just fall guys. It should be everybody that was involved, including Tim Walsh. Will we ever see Tim Walsh go down? Absolutely not. Will we ever see maybe the top people that in the Somalis go down? Probably not. They probably only deported the stragglers, the people that they had to just, hey, we got to arrest somebody. But he's not going to talk about how Trump didn't do anything to Tim Walsh.
Who shut it down? When ICE came to Minneapolis to prevent these foreigners from stealing from us, and this is in the New York Times, they said Somalians stole $9 billion from Minnesota taxpayers.
With the help of Tim Walsh.
And when the Minnesota Attorney General found out about it, the Somalian community said, if you try to press charges, we will accuse you of racism. We'll bring the DOJ down on you. We'll accuse you of racism and say, you're discriminating against us. This is the contempt with which these fucking people hold us in, the left and their foreign-born allies. We send in ICE to...
Wait, am I tripping? Dang, those are two different people, huh? It's one of the Tims. Someone said, is it Tim Walsh or Tim Walls? It was Kamala's VP. So whichever Tim that was, I don't know how to pronounce that Tim. I think it's Tim Walsh, Tim Walls. I don't know. You just gotta be tripping right now because I'm like, dang, which one is it? But yeah, Kamala's VP.
Clean this up, and who stood in the way and prevented ICE from deporting these?
I don't know. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. Waltz, I guess. I'm sorry.
People or shutting down the fraud. It was the same radical left that killed Charlie Kirk.
Wait, then you say Walsh. I don't know. Y'all know the Tim I'm talking about. Timmy, Kamala's VP. We're going to call him Timmy for now.
That was chasing ICE through the streets in cars, that was punching them and trying to attack them as they apprehended illegal immigrants.
And he talked about the 9 billion, I think he said 9 million, whatever it was. You really think that amount of money, taxpayer money, is just going uncovered and Trump just doesn't have any idea? You think Timmy is doing things behind Trump's back? Bro, all of these people work together, bro. All of them. So until you call that out, I don't take nothing you say serious.
And that's ultimately why we don't have mass deportations. Think of the ripple effect. If we had held the left accountable in September 2025, we could have deported the Somalis in December 2025. We could carry out mass deportations without ICE agents having covered their face out of fear of retaliation. We could deport illegals without ICE agents having to fear being sniped at or blown up at ICE facilities. Maybe, I know this is crazy, Elon Musk could cut the deficit a little bit without people setting Tesla dealerships on fire and blowing up Teslas and vandalizing them in the street. That's what we're up against. Don't you see the bigger picture? This is the evil that we're up against.
That's not the bigger picture at all.
So I hope that Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, who said he knows that Egyptian planes are real, I hope they're sleeping really well at night knowing that they almost single-handedly got the left off the hook. They got the murderers and communists and psychos that want a mass amnesty, that would blow up a Tesla dealership, that would kill any of us because we don't want open borders and drag queen story hour. I hope they sleep well knowing you guys got them off the hook.
Dude, if y'all wasn't... If it was really such thing as a left and right, this Charlie Kirk investigation would be the perfect thing for the left to come out of nowhere and exploit. All right, they would come out of nowhere and say, look, the left will use this as fuel to go at the right. But they don't. They're silent too about Charlie Kirk because they all work together. They would easily come out and say, look what Charlie Kirk is doing to the right. Everybody's arguing with each other. Or they would at least try to be the ones to get down to the bottom of it because it's all strange, right? The left would probably be in cahoots with Candace Owens trying to figure out what happened. But they all work together, bro. We're not buying it. We're not falling for the BS no more. We beyond that.
The left lives to fight and kill another day. The left lives to fight, kill, assassinate, rape, torture all of us another day. They're going to have another shot in 26 and 28 because of what you people did. And it wouldn't have happened if you weren't there. That's the best part. It's like the great man of history theory, but whatever the opposite of that is. It's like the worst woman of history theory. It's the idea that the will of one person can take history and move it in another direction. It's that cynical grifter, narcissist, Candace Owens, her soap opera, that alone, taking her platform and credibility and using it for this end, which has steered us in a completely different direction than we otherwise would have been going in. We would have been celebrating maybe that even though Charlie Kirk was gone.
But that's what I'm saying, though. If the right is accusing the left of killing Charlie Kirk, I don't know, bro. They're gonna start confusing me because I don't even believe in any of this anyway. But I think it's way more proof that or evidence that Tyler Robinson did not come from the left, and I think it would be a strategy. Right, but they don't say nothing. They're very silent about Charlie Kirk.
We held everybody that hated him to account, and we made it so they would never have power over us on the year anniversary of his death. And we'd be looking forward in the future that the DSA and the Democrats would not be able to destroy the country and our families and Christianity and the rest of it. Instead, they're empowered by this. They're empowered by it because the right is fractured, everybody hates each other, and nobody's looking at what the left is doing. So thanks.
Hey, man, I can't wait for people like this to get out the way. And then that is exactly why we will continue doing what we're doing. Because one day we're going to have a voice and a platform like Nick Fuentes where we can actually spit the truth. And we can actually get up here and be the voice for the people. And not this whole paid, I'm the right, I'm the left, and all this BS. The right, midterms coming up, we're gonna lose. America's gonna go. Like, bro, we are over that. We are over that. We are over that. And so we're gonna continue to push to be in a place, in a position one day where we can just start spreading the truth more, bro. These folks just be lying through their teeth. Just be straight lying. Somebody said, what do I feel like about the Catholic Church? Man, that is an interesting conversation. We talked about that before, but Maybe another time. Maybe another time. Maybe another time. But I have seen, you know, a lot of people go towards Catholicism lately, and you know, boast about it and all types of stuff like that. I do disagree with the way that it kind of appears and comes across. Like when I see people, you know, overseas with the Pope and all of that, I don't agree with that. I don't think it may, you know, I think that is kind of like idolizing somebody, and you know, they go to the Pope for everything and all of that. But I just think, again, it's just like another thing that's just like trying to divide people. So yeah, it's a tough one, bro. That's a tough one. Because I do have my feelings on it for real. But you know, a lot of people tend to feel so attacked when you talk about this, and I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? It's all out of good intention, and it's just a conversation. Yes, I would. I am a Christian, regular. You know, I don't know with all of these different denominations, but traditional. What is it called? Protestant, I believe. But yeah, it's just a tough. Yeah, it is a tough conversation. But you know, when it comes to Catholicism, like, you know, that's one of the things that Candace pushes quite often. I just disagree with it. You know, I think there's no middleman. There's no middleman when it comes to the Lord, when it comes to God. I don't need to talk to another human to have that connection. You know what I mean? I don't have to confess to another human to have that connection. I don't agree with the way that people look at the Pope and the way that he carries himself. The way that he carries himself, especially you know, overseas, like just be walking through the street and it'd be a whole crowd, everybody's taking pictures. I'm like, it's just a guy, man. He's just a guy. He's not, you know. We can get into it, man. We can get into another day. Not tonight. Not tonight. That'd be a whole nother hour. Just yes, I agree. It looks like worshiping to me, and that it literally goes against, you know, the Bible. So, and you know, he washes people's feet, and I know they said that that's like a tradition, but again, I don't need anybody on earth to try to replicate what Jesus has done. You know what I mean? I don't need that. So I don't need that at all. So when he's walking through the street, when he's washing people's feet, when people are, again, going to him because they feel like that's the way to the Father, and they got to talk to him about stuff. Like, I just don't agree with that at all. I think that it just does not, you know, y'all know where I'm going, but it doesn't really make any sense when I hear that. So, you know, yeah, when I hear Candace bring up Catholicism and she talks about how much she has to talk to her priest about stuff and the Pope and all this other stuff, I'm like, I just don't agree with any of that, bro. I don't agree with, you know, all of it. And again, there are great people that I know that are Catholic that don't do any of that don't go to the extent that I have seen. So this is no attack at anybody. It's just that when in general, what I do see, like on TV, when I see the Pope on TV and all this other stuff, I'm like, what's going on, bro? He's just a guy. He's just a guy. They had some concert the other week that he was at, and everybody was sitting in regular chairs, and this guy had and you know, people will probably feel disrespected from me saying this guy. That's another problem. Like, but this guy was in this tall white chair that was like put on like a pedestal, and I'm like, what we doing here? What are we doing? How is this okay? I know I don't worship you. Why are you different than any of us? You know what I mean? You're a sinner. We all fall short every day. So I'm not gonna go to you like you're this, you know, crazy. We'll talk about it. You know, that'll be a conversation. We got into it before a little bit, but yeah, bro. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm literally I got something to say. But you know what I mean? It's just I've the comments sometimes just be kind of annoying because everybody just feels very attacked when you talk about things like this. But yeah, I don't agree with it. It's very, I feel like it contradicts what it really means to like kind of like be a Christian and the relationship you have with God and all this other stuff. I think it just contradicts it. You know, they talk about Mary, praying to Mary, the Pope, Saint Michael, like all of these different things that they have just seem like a lot of, you know, symbols and idolizing and yeah, we gonna talk about it a little bit more maybe one day. Yeah, she talked about that too. She said she's gonna give her $300,000 to the church. to the you know. Come on, man. Like y'all are funny. But look, it's 12:38. And it is not over. I did not forget about the after party. I know it's still there. I got to change the time of the link so that way we can get right into it. So members, I will see y'all in a few. Outside of that, everybody, please hit the like button. Whether you're on your way in right now, unfortunately, or on your way out. Replay crew, I appreciate it always hitting the like button and watching the replay crew. Again, we're working on expanding the platform to many different, you know, things like Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I'm looking into it. One-man team over here. So I'm trying my best. I know I also fell short of dropping regular videos too. I'm trying to, you know what I mean, 2 sons and it's just chaotic. So, you know, I'm trying to figure out all of that because I definitely don't want to do just lives. I would love to actually have like a real authentic video on certain topics. So I still got things to talk about that I want to drop a video on. I'm not really the type of guy that does lives and then clip the live to make a video of something that we already talked about on the live, like clipping the live and making a video out of that. Because I try my best to like do the chapters and people can just go watch that one segment in the live. So typically I like to make a video that is like real and authentic and all new thoughts and perspectives in that way. So I know I have fell short on that. It's been like almost like a week and a half and I got to hit on Tucker Carlson and I got to hit on something else as well. So that's coming too. I'm trying my best. But again, make sure you guys, you know, support. The best way you can support is just following all the different platforms. We got two accounts on TikTok. We got X as well. Facebook, brand new. Once you get over there, you're going to see it's only like 5 followers, 5 or 6 followers. So we're new over there. Please go support the page. I'm trying to figure out how everything works over there. That's a whole new algorithm, whole new system. So trying to figure that out. And then also I'm on Buy Me a Coffee as well, JD Yapper 1. So you can support the channel in many different ways. But outside of that, I hope y'all have a great night. What is tomorrow? Wednesday, I think. Great Wednesday. Make sure you turn your notifications on so you'll be notified the next time we go live. Might be tomorrow. Maybe. I definitely don't go 2 days without going live. So might be tomorrow. That's why you got to turn the notifications on. And yeah, man. Outside of that, members, I'll see y'all in a little bit. I hope y'all have a great night. Love y'all, and I'll see y'all on the next one.